So the first time I saw Youth of Today was their first trip out to California. In Southern California, they played this real tiny club uh, called Ronnie's. It was in like this weird town called Monrovia, and they had Kevin Seconds playing drums for them at the time, and they kind of came through with 7 Seconds. And I had a conversation with Ray over the phone and heard a little bit of his band before he came out here, so I was anticipating seeing him. So. Um, I went up there and checked out. There's only about 30 or 40 people there in this tiny little club out in the middle of nowhere. It must have been like a warm-up show, but I remember meeting them finally and seeing the show. I was so excited. And then like 2 days later, they played Fender's, which was the biggest club uh, in our area at the time. And it was like 7 Seconds, Aggression, and I forget who else was on at the time. But Youth of Today opened the show, and there was a couple thousand kids there, and they just they tore the place up because they definitely left an impression on Orange County for sure. And I think a bunch of bands started quickly after that. They just brought this new, fresh, like New York hardcore sound that was pretty contagious. So that was I think that was at the end of '85.
Now, Rich, do you think that they had their own sound, or do you think they were just the best at exploiting the New York City sound?
I think they brought the early New York hardcore sound of like the early Agnostic Front, Cause for Alarm, Abuse, and stuff, and they made a positive spin at it, and they kind of promoted the whole straight edge thing. And I think they took a sound and they brought it to a new generation with a different message, and the message was positive, and I think kids really latched onto it at the time. It's like something we needed because there was, at the time, in the scene, it was very violent. There was a lot of gangs, a mishmash of punks that would come out to shows, and so you'd get skinheads with skateboarders and punkers and stuff like that, and sometimes it got violent, and they kind of came through with this like fresh energy. It was really cool. That was the first time Youth of Today came through town, and it was a good thing for the scene, It was cool. Hi.
So what were some of your favorite bands to go out with?
To play with or to go see?
To play with, actually, and tour with, things like that.
Tour with, let's see here. We had fun with Gorilla Biscuits because I just remember that one tour, I think it was like '89 in the summer, we'd driven through and had a bunch of shows with them, and we just kind of got turned on to the idea that fireworks weren't illegal in the whole country, so we can buy them in like South Carolina and stuff like that. So we picked up as much as we can afford, and we had these giant firework wars with all the bands we were out with. We were out there with Reason to Believe and Wind of Change and Gorilla Biscuits and things like that, and it was just wild. We'd roll into towns, and we were firing fireworks. We didn't even care about everything that was going on. And I remember being up in Green Bay, and we were going through the town. Literally, the van door was wide open, like the sliding door, and we're firing fireworks at the other van, the Gorilla Biscuits van, stuff like that. And somehow we drove by this cop, and he saw the action going on, and he was pissed. So he followed us, and he had the lights on, and he pulled into the parking lot. I remember pulling into the parking lot, going, "Oh, geez, here comes the cops." And he pulls in slowly. It's like a dirt lot, and he just fires up he just burns out, and there was smoke everywhere. And he got out of the car. I thought we were gonna get arrested. It was nuts because we had like Roman candles were flying and stuff like that. And saw these 2 vans going down the street with fireworks everywhere. But we didn't get arrested. But I just remember having a lot of fun, doing stuff like that. And the shows were always great because it was summertime. It's light out all late. I remember like doing like wiffle ball games in Arkansas with bands and stuff. People we just met. We get a game together because we had a few hours before the show started.